Okay, we are live.
And we are live. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you guys for being with us tonight. We're going to wait a couple more seconds so that the room can get full of people who have lots of questions and concerns, and then we're going to jump right in. So while you guys wait, let's listen to some music. Let's see.
Give me a high five.
I always do it wrong. Hold on. There it goes. Yes. Nicole, let's try.
Gotta run. Oh, I can do this. Do this. 1, 2, 3.
Yes. All right, let's go.
Yes.
Yes. All right. We're struggling tonight, guys. We're struggling. Oh.
All right. 14
Another 30
viewers.
seconds and then we're good. All right. 20 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, then we will begin. This Facebook Live is brought to you in part by water. All right. Let's do this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. All right. We want to thank you guys for being here with us tonight. You literally could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us, so thank you very much. If you're here tonight, we're going to have something real special for you guys. We're going to help you guys out. Tonight is for Lyons Township, how to file an appeal. My name is Hector Dominguez. To my right, baby, we have Lyons, or left. I don't know how this goes. Lyons Township. Everybody, let's give it up for Lyons Township. Round of applause. We also have Angelina and Nicole here from the Cook County Assessors Office. Let's give them a round of applause. And we also have Priscilla here as well. The rest of our team, Michelle, Teresa, Maura, are all in the comment section, ready to help when they are needed. So let us begin. If you're here today, you're here because we're going to be talking about Lyons Township. So what I have for you guys is a handy-dandy presentation that will not delete itself today. Let me open this up for you guys. All right. Let me share my screen. Share screen. All right. So, building a better assessor's office, Cook County Assessor's Office. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here, it is because you've probably received one of these things that you're staring at right now. So let's break this down. Before we continue, actually, we are going to have a Q&A. That is my favorite part of tonight. But last time we did this, I felt like some people did not get their questions in on time. Therefore, their questions were answered a little bit later than they would have liked. So please, if you have a question, go ahead and write the information or type the information, your question in the comments section. That way, when we get to the Q&A portion, we can answer your question and you're not rushing trying to figure it out, right? So let's get back in it. On your left-hand side, you'll see a reassessment notice. On your right-hand side, you'll see a tax bill. A reassessment notice is simply that. It's just information from our office to you, letting you know that your property has been reassessed. If you look, you can see your PIN number. A picture of your house should be on the top right-hand corner, unless you're a condo. Condos are done a little bit different. You'll also see the past values of your home. You'll see your neighborhood code. You'll see your property class. You'll see the age of your property, all of those things. And at the very bottom, you'll see your deadline. Now, this is just an example, so don't freak out. It's not your deadline. But this is just an example of where you would see your deadline. This is not a bill. Again, this is not a bill, right? This is not telling you how much your taxes are going to be. This is not telling you what your taxes are, what they were. This is not what this is. On your right-hand side, this nice yellow bill, this is a tax bill. This is issued by the Cook County Treasurer's Office. When you pay your tax bill, this is the office you are paying, not the assessor's office. Now, reassessments happen every 3 years. That means you're going to get one of these. Let me go back. You're going to get one of these every 3 years. Now, we have an awesome graphic here designed by the one and only Nicole. She kind of is responsible for taking things that don't make sense to people and putting them in a way that they do make sense to people. So if you look, we are in 2020. So anyone who lives in the southern part of the county, this is the year you're getting reassessed. If you live in the city, the next year is when you'll be reassessed. And if you live in the northern part of the county, like this dark blue area, then you'll be reassessed in 2022. The assessor's goal is that every property assessment is fair, accurate, and transparent. Guys, we want to make sure we get this right the very first time so you don't have to appeal. That is our goal. That is our desire, right? But, sometimes that's not the case. That's not what happens. Unfortunately, this is what it is, right? But that's why these things exist, right? That's why we're here tonight. So when you're filing an appeal, you have to understand what's going on. So once you get your reassessment notice, then if you're not satisfied with the value of your home, you can then do the appeal process. So if you disagree with your value, which is I'm assuming why all of y'all are here tonight, then you need to have a reason why you are appealing. For example, you can't just say, well, I'm appealing because my friend told me to, or I'm appealing because I think that's what's best, or I received a letter from Swindle Brothers and Barlam and Bailey's and they said, you have to have a reason. Some of those reasons are lack of uniformity, property description error. There's an error in property characteristics. You had a fire. The building no longer exists. It's uninhabitable, right? Different reasons why one would appeal. Once you do that, our analysts will then look over all the evidence you submit to our office, and then they'll decide, hey, either we are going to give you a decrease or we are not going to give you a decrease. If you are not going to get a decrease, your letter will say, sorry, there's going to be a no change, or due to the uniformity of your property, we're not going to do this, something like that. But yeah, you can appeal multiple ways, right? You can appeal with your township assessor office. You can appeal with our office online, or you can mail in your application. I can't give you legal counsel, but if it was me, I would submit online. And here's why. We have a brand new online portal that will literally guide you step by step by step. And I'm actually going to walk you through that in a second. But you can start your draft. You can save your draft. You can revise your draft. But once you submit everything, you can do it all from the comfort of your home, your cell phone, your laptop, your iPad, your tablet. Like you can do this all sitting on the couch, right? You no longer have to wait in line. If some of you are familiar with the work that we do, you know that our outreach events usually have like 400, 500 people. So you no longer have to deal with any of that nonsense. And because of the current situation that we're all in, it's probably safer for you to do this online as well. You can also submit supporting documentation. Filing with our office is always free. You will never be charged from our office ever. Other places will charge you, and that's up to you if you want to do that or not, but our office does it for free. Also, in 2020, taxpayers now have 35 days to file an appeal. If you remember in the past, you had 30 days and then 8 days and then 3 days, and it just got really weird. So we just cut it to a flat 35. So now what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you how to do this online. So we're going to go to Cook County, move my cursor, cookcountyassessor.com, COM. From there, we're going to scroll over to the appeals tab. And then from there, online appeals. Super simple. Now, once you click on online appeals, you will see a nice little video that we created for those who are more visual, like I am. I need to see things in order for me to process how to do them. If that's you, just go ahead and click that video, and then you'll see everything that you're going to need to file your appeal. Once you read through all of this, you can click the blue box that says Launch Online Portal. Boom. I already have an email, but you would have to make an email. Go ahead and just do this. It's super easy. Go ahead and do your password, click log in, and you are in. So once you click log in, there's a screen before this one. It's going to say, what kind of appeal do you want to do? We're going to do residential, right? If you're a condo, yours will be residential condo co-op. If you're a home, yours will say residential, like this. So now, this is the first slide or the first page on your online appeal. This information here, we just need your information. We need your PIN number, we need your address, and we need to know the property class that you have. Once you're done there, the very next slide is where you would go if you wanted to file certificate of heirs. What does that mean? So we have two types of certificate of heirs. We have one for people who are missing exemptions, and then we have one for people who feel that their value has been incorrect. They were incorrectly taxed, and it's a factual heir. Different from an opinionated heir. Let me explain. Hey, I think I deserve a certificate of heir because last year I paid less than my neighbor. That is not a factual heir. She may have had, or he may have had, an exemption you don't qualify for. They may have been getting a different break than you were, right? A factual error would be, hey, I need to do a certificate of error for last year because the square footage was completely wrong. Or we need to do a certificate of error for last year because I had a fire and I wasn't living in my home last year. Or I just bought my home and I was rehabbing it, so I wasn't living inside of it. Things like that. There's a factual error. After that, we need to know if you have any additional PINs or not. And this would be kind of like people who have homes that sit on two different lots. You would know if you had more than one PIN number because you would receive more than one bill from us, right? Or from the treasurer's office, sorry. Now we need to know, who are you, right? Are you the homeowner? Are you the executor? Are you the beneficiary? Who are you? So you would just click this little down arrow and then select taxpayer owner, and then do it again where it's right here we're trying to identify who you are. Taxpayer owner, and then you just fill in this information. Depending on what happened, also, like if you've done this in the past, sometimes it auto-populates for you. Like it auto-populated for my parents, but it did not auto-populate for me. So I guess it just depends on where you are. Oh, geez. Now from here, we get a lot of questions that say, hey guys, your office says that I have 2.5 bathrooms, but I really only have 2. Or, hey guys, your office says that I have, I don't know, 3 units in my building, but I only have 2, right? Those are called property characteristic, right? When you want to correct those, this is where you would do that. You would go ahead and just click, hey, no, I only have 1 story. I only have a single family home. No, my age is only 60. This is where you correct those types of errors. Now, this is probably the most important part of the appeal, right? The reason why you are appealing. So we need to know why. You can't just say, hey, I want to appeal because I'm bored, right? You have to have a reason why. Here are the reasons that our office provides. Lack of uniformity. That means myself and we'll pick Angelina. Angelina and I live in the same area, same house, built by the same person, same size, same everything. You didn't have to come in. I'm sorry. I'm just using you as an example. We all live in the same place, but for whatever reason, our values are different, which means our tax bills are different, and I want to know why. Overvaluation. That's probably everybody in here tonight. There's no way my house is worth this much. If my house was worth this much, I would sell it to you right now, right? Vacancy, occupancy, that means you have an empty property. You will have to prove that you have an empty property also. Don't be one of those people that say you have an empty property, but then it's not, right? Fire damage, property description error, building is uninhabitable. That means you physically cannot live there. It does not mean my husband still lives here, my wallpaper's ugly, my room is too small. It means you physically cannot live here. Building no longer exists, self-explanatory. Other, that's like an act of God, right? Lightning hits a tree falls on your house. On the news a couple weeks ago, there was a drunk driver who took out someone's entire first floor. So something like that. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this next one. Field check request. That means you actually want someone from our office, a field person from our office, to go to your home and redraw, resketch, and remeasure your property. If you check yes, like it does right here, you can explain your situation right here at the bottom. Very simple. We try to make this as easy as possible for everybody, right? Now, we get this question a lot. Well, hey, I want to appeal, but I also have some things I want to submit as well. Additional documentation, some pictures, an appraisal, my closing documentation, plat of survey, something. This is where you would submit that information. We have many different, categories for you to submit in, not just these. The list is actually a lot longer. I was just trying to save time. But just pay attention to what you're submitting, right? So if you look under each of these, you have a size limit, a attachment limit, a file type allowed. So you just want to make sure you watch those kind of things. Now, when you get to this part, you're about to submit your appeal, right? This is very important. Please read the yellow writing. Please be advised that once you click submit, you will not be able to make changes or add additional documents to this filing, right? So once you click submit, it's going to go in. And we remind you of that. Sorry, one second. We remind you of that right here, right? You put in your information. When you click submit, this is going to pop up. Are you sure you want to submit this filing? So we ask you more than once, are you sure? If you click yes, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get a confirmation page. Now, this is probably the biggest question we always get. Probably number one, number two question we get is, hey guys, I submitted my appeal. When am I going to get my confirmation email? Well, this is your confirmation. As you can see, this is confirmation. Thank you. Your request has been submitted. It gives you a filing ID. It says, please print off a copy of this filing for your records. You can take a screenshot. You can print it out. You can save it, whatever you want. But this is your confirmation. Will you receive a confirmation by email? Sorry, absolutely. But it's going to take a while. So this is your confirmation. So please, if you're thinking about appealing, or you know someone who has or who is going to, make sure they understand this is the confirmation page. Oh, sorry. All right. Let me stop sharing my screen. Let me bring this up. Sorry. All right. So that is how you filed an appeal with our office using our online system. Oh, wow. We have a lot of questions. I didn't have that part open yet. So how are we doing the questions, guys? You want me to just jump right in Q&A, or you guys want to read some of them off, or how do we want to do this? Mildred says, Mildred says, I thought the instructions were going to be mailed. And are you recording this meeting to send it by email later? So our office is doing the presenting portion. Lyons Township is who is hosting the event. I'm sure this is already on Facebook, so it will stay up on Facebook. So I'm sure the link will be passed around, and you can just scroll to the portion you're trying to look at. This is going to be on here. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet forever. Gina Munoz, thank you for sharing. Is there a way I can see a copy of the PowerPoint for reference? Like I said, this is Facebook Live, so this will be on here. All you got to do is scroll back and forth, and you can see everything that we were talking about. Our presentation, well, I take that back. My presentation is not really like a presentation. It's just a bunch of ideas and notes put together that I've been doing for 10 years. So I kind of just look, glance, and I go. Vicky says, I'm not sure if I received a reassessment notice. Can I find it online with my PIN? So sort of. Can you find your reassessment notice like what I showed earlier online? No. You do have to contact our office, our Freedom of Information Department. They can mail it back out to you, but you can see your value once it's posted on our website, cookcountyassessor.com. Go ahead and put in your PIN number, press enter, and then go to property characteristics, and it should be right there. So Phyllis says, should I include all PINs for comparable properties into one Excel spreadsheet? So Phyllis, a couple things. One, you don't need to submit comparables. Our office is going to do that for you, right? Our office will go in, find comparables for you, make things happen. But if you want to do that, you absolutely can do that. Just make sure your file size does not exceed the limit of the upload. Oh, Nicole, I can't hear you. I can't hear Nicole.
Hi, how about now?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Sorry about that, Phyllis. I just wanted to add a little extra advice. Yes, you can attach those comparable pins. If you're trying to attach pins, make sure they go in that attachment section of your appeal. And yeah, you can just list all of them in one Excel file, up to 6 pins, please. So yeah, but again, just like Hector pointed out, you don't have to do that. Our analysts will find comparable analyses, pins for their analysis for you.
Absolutely. Let's give Nicole a round of applause, guys.
Figured out my mic.
I'm going to download some sound effects. And when things like this happen, we're going to do the cheer button. So it's kind of like, the basketball games, the baseball games, just cheer button. That's what I'm going to start doing. Next one, watch. All right. So Donna says, in searching comparable properties. Sorry, I noticed that when properties appeal, there are often adjustments, although there are many properties that do not appeal. How does this impact the overall success of appealing? So if I'm understanding your question, you're asking, how do you know if you're submitting in a comparable that has appealed already or not? And unfortunately, there is no way to really know that, right? Because when you are appealing and you're finding comparables, you should be finding comparables in your specific area, your specific township, which means they kind of would be appealing at the same time as you. So you wouldn't really know that. But like, if I were you, I would just go to our website, cookcountyassessor.com. Go to, actually, let me look it up really quick. I'm sure someone's going to post the link in here in a second. You can actually find comparables on our website, and you can contact your township assessor office. They have the AIM program. That's what I would do to avoid trying to figure out which ones have appealed already and which ones haven't. And that was not legal counsel, by the way. That's just, I can't say your last name, but if you need help finding comparables for an appeal yes, you absolutely can. Yeah, they can. Do they have to make an appointment with you guys, or?
No, we ask that they call first. There's so much that we can do over the phone. So our office call, we can most likely help you by phone or email, but call us first.
Let's give Carrie a round of applause, guys. And Lyons Township. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
What's next? Michael says, is the long-time resident exemption available currently? I've been here for 29 years. I'm 62 and retired, all free and clear now. So yes, the long-time exemption kind of started around 2007, and it's still available. The problem is the long-time exemption is for those properties that, you've lived there for 10 years or more, 10 consecutive years or more, right? You don't make more than $100,000 as a total household income. But the last requirement is the one that kind of gets everyone. The last requirement is your equalized assessed value must have increased significantly depending on where you live at for those 10 years. So that means every single year there has to have been an increase in equalized assessed value, X amount. So depending on if you live in the northern part of the county, the southern part of the county, or the city part of the county, that's the math that has to be done. It's super easy to do. All you gotta do is contact our office, give us your PIN number, and we can tell you literally within 45 seconds if you qualify or not. Or you can send us an email. You can write us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that jazz. If I have found a sold property for overvaluation, does that count for my 6 pins? So Phyllis, if you're trying to find comparables for your property and you're trying to say, hey, this one was sold within the last year, should you use it? I can't give you legal counsel, but if it were me and this is my 2020, my 2020 reassessment, and this property sold in 2019, 2020, I would probably use it. Gina says, can we still go to the assessor's office and file? So you can go downtown, right? I'm assuming that's what you mean. You have to make an appointment. So you go to our website, cookcountyassessor.com, and make an appointment. It's on our homepage. Or you can contact your township assessor's office. You can call them first, and I'm sure this can happen. Can I compare against a house that uses a senior? Okay, so Phyllis, I think you're about to go down a rabbit hole, right? So let's explain how this works. When you're comparing properties, you don't want to compare tax bills. That will set you up for failure. Here's why. My tax bill could be different than yours. Very simple. I could be receiving the homeowner, the senior freeze, disabled person, disabled veteran, homeowner senior, the long time returning veteran. I could be receiving all these different exemptions. What you want to compare is the assessed value of the home. Don't compare tax bills. Compare assessed values of the home. Exemptions don't have anything to do with if you should use someone for appealing or not. Look at the assessed values. Any other questions? Vicky, I see your comment here. Thanks for making the 6 p.m. webinar enjoyable. I appreciate you. I try, guys. I know nobody wants to be here. I know you guys rather be home eating dinner, hanging out, watching something on TV, some, I don't know, money heist or something. I don't know. But thank you, guys. I appreciate your kindness. Lori says, I know the appeal narrative is optional. However, I would assume it's beneficial for your appeal. If you click the lack of uniformity and overvaluation reasons in your appeal and attach comps and recently sold properties as examples, do you still need to fill out the narrative? If so, what are some of the common terms, reasons, info to include in your narrative? So, Lori, let me start by saying I'm not giving you legal counsel, right? You don't need to submit an appeal narrative at all. It's not like, hey, if you do this, it will make your chances better. That's not how this works. We look at assessed values, right? We want to make sure we got the value correct. You can submit a narrative if you feel clicking one of our options does not give enough information. One of those things could be like, hey, for example, hey, none of these options say that I live next to a outdoor pool for the whole community, and the walls broke down and the water came into my house and took out my whole wall or something. Like, that's not an option on our appeal, right? But a narrative will explain that, right? Or like, hey, there was a drunk driver that took out my whole first floor, and now it's going to take me 8-9 months to do construction because we're in COVID and no one's coming out to do anything, right? Those are the kind of things narratives are for. You can write a narrative about anything you want, but they're not really necessary unless you feel what you're trying to do is not really explained with the reasons we presented. No problem, guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Michael. I see one here. Thank you, Lori. Norma says, do I need to set up an appointment or can we just walk in? You can't just walk in anywhere anymore, guys. So for the assessor's office downtown, you do have to make an appointment. Again, you can do that on our website, cookcountyassessor.com. It's right on the homepage, like second or third sentence from the top. And then you can call in your township assessor's office as well. Excellent question, Sherry. Can my assessment go up if I appeal? Layered questions. Let's break that down. We're going to keep it simple as possible, right? So if you're appealing in 2020, worst case scenario, nothing happens, right? You don't get a reduction. You're still angry next year and you still don't like us, right? Best case scenario, you get a reduction and you love us. Now, here's how this works. When you appeal, it lasts for the longevity of your triennial. So that means if you appeal in 2020 and win, it'll last for 2020, 21, and 22. Now, if you don't appeal in 20, but you appeal in 21, it'll last for 21 and 22. If you don't appeal in 20 or 21, or you lose those appeals, whatever, and you appeal in 2022, it would only last for 1 year. So when people say, hey, I appealed and my assessment went up, 90% of the time, no, I don't even want to say that. I would say a good 95% of the time is because they appealed on the very last year of their triennial, so they got reassessed again. The other 5% of that is people who got caught doing things they weren't supposed to be doing, so they got put back on the tax roll. Hopefully that makes sense.
I also want to add to, people talk about the assessment going up, but there's actually a whole lot more that goes into your tax bill, which is like, that's really why we're all here, right? It's about property taxes. And the way that your tax rate is calculated, and the reason that it's calculated every single year, is because local municipalities like your schools and community health centers file these property tax levies. That's like the overall pot of money that has to be collected from property taxes to fund services. Now, that, think of it as kind of, Fritz explains it as a pie that no one wants to eat, right? And your share of that pie depends on your assessment, but how big that pie is depends on everyone else gets a slice of the pie too, right? So it depends on everyone else's assessment. So what happens is, even if you file an appeal, and even if the analyst reviews your appeal and reduces your assessed property value, if everyone else is doing the same thing, it kind of washes out in the end, and property tax bills kind of stay the same. So that's why it's important to remember that the impact of your appeal on your property tax bill, it's unclear. We don't know what kind of effect it might have. And it's also why if you file your appeal and you get a result letter that says your appeal was not successful and your assessed value is still the same, it's because our analysts are not trying to pull one over on you. It's not that we don't like you. It's that fairness in the system is really important, because if one person pays too little, everyone else pays too much.
So Angelina, can you put my other screen up? Because I have what Nicole was talking about. So if you guys look, this is an example tax bill. It's a sample. This is what Nicole was talking about. So each specific township, so Township of Worth, has its own specific tax rate, right? Right here. So Worth's tax rate is 13.434. In Lyons, your tax rate's a little bit different. Everybody's township has specific taxing bodies or tax levies that need to survive. How do they survive? They survive by us taxpayers paying the taxes, right? So when people say, hey, my tax bill went up, what did you guys do? Remember, you only get reassessed once every 3 years. So let's do some simple math. If we assess your property for $1 and it stays for $1, and this year your bill came out to $10, your bill's $10. Next year, your value's still $1, but your bill went up to $20. Where did that increase come from? Not your value, not the assessor's office, the taxing bodies. If you look here, here's a perfect example. Last year in 2018's tax bill for Worth Township, they needed $4,700 to survive from this specific taxpayer. Well, in 2019, they needed $4,800, almost $4,900 from this specific taxpayer to survive. You know what I mean? So like and look at the values didn't change. Here's the value in 2018, 15.9. Here's the value in 2019, 15.9. So even though the value did not go up, the tax bill still went up. So that's what Nicole was talking about, guys. Let me stop sharing this screen. All right. Janice says, I turned 65 in December of 2019. Can I change my status online for the discount? So this is how this works, Janice. If you were born in 1954 or before, you qualify for the exemption. So if you were born in 1954 or before and you did not receive the senior citizen exemption, just contact our office. You can go on our website, cookcountyassessor.com, certificate of heir, senior citizen, or you can just call or send us an inbox or something, and we'll definitely work that out with you guys. I do want to comment on something I saw. Grace Johnson, it says here, you're talking to someone named Paul. I don't know who Paul is, but it says under burials, the process could include 3 separate appeals. First appeal with the assessor, second have the reappeal done by the assessor, third appeal by the board of review. Kind of, sort of. So let's break that down. How many times can you appeal in a year? 3. Once with the Cook County Assessor's Office, once with the Cook County Board of Review, and then once with the Property Tax and Appeal Board, also known as PTAB, right? So if you appeal with the Assessor's Office and you're not satisfied with your value, you can go to step number 2, which is the Cook County Board of Review. If we said no, they could say yes, right? If you go with the Board of Review and you're not satisfied with their value, you can go to the PTAB board. If our office said no, the Board of Review said no, they can still say yes. So those are the 3 different steps I think you were talking about. Thanks, Rob. Trying to be like you when I grow up, man. Trying to get the feng shui to hang out with us. Lyons Township can also help with exemptions. Absolutely, guys. Their number is 708-482-8300, option number 1.
I think that's all the questions we have.
There's another question. Does Angelina have a what? No, I'm just kidding. Doesn't say nothing.
Real funny. I think that's it.
She has plants in the background, guys. Pray for her. She has plants in the background. I don't know. All right. Well, I think that's it, right?
Good. Thank you, Hector.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys literally you guys are spending your nights with me, and you could be spending them doing a lot of other things that are more beneficial to you. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. You guys know what to do, man. Follow us. You guys have a great night.